Hey everyone, this is hmm, interesting. Anyway, I'm back again with some hmm. Anyway, I am finally here to do the and decided to do some work on the Waxing Moon Chronicles for the other channel at the same time. Not this main storyline, but more of the request stuff, get points, get rewards. Yeah. You know how that works. Anyway, um, let's see. We got some questions here. Okay. So, first question is from, and I would love to show you all what I'm looking at, but the screenshot thing is not working. I'm gonna see if I could put it on for editing, or if I could just find a way to make it work. Hard to say. Anyway, first up we have is, where is Lou? That is Lou, and I don't know what that means. Like, at all. Like, I don't remember making a character called Lou or anything like that. Unless it's something I was going to make a reaction to for the characters that I'm doing, but that it might not be the case at all. Let's see what else we got. We got some reaction suggestions. Okay, what else we got? Okay, here is another one. Oh, this one's actually interesting. I remember seeing this one, but I was surprised by it. This one actually had me thinking on the best way to explain it. This one is from Christian White 8877, which is basically asking me on AU stuff. Basically, it says, what does Izuku think of the MHA AUs I've made? Called Of the Void, the Ghostly Glitch, specifically these AUs. What would be the reaction of the No Mercy team if they found a Dusttail AU has Broken Dust, a AU of Dusttail where the endless loop of genocide eventually broke space-time without destroying the universe, a world where all monsters had a fragment of the original timeline of this universe that allowed them to become just like dust sands, but this same universe somehow is alive enough to fix itself, which resulted in all the fragment timelines reunifying, where all monsters had an LV of at least 19, while Char and Frisk no longer sharing the same body, but the darkest part of this AU is that this version of Dust Hands is the most sane person in his AU, despite being the most cold and ruthless killer in his AU. While Frisk and Chara have no choice but to try for a peaceful ending just to survive. Also, there's a question I'm thinking that has, have you heard of an anime called That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime? If you want, fine with the world building and some policies, The anime's a decent one. Would you consider adding Rimuru to Team Blue? Okay. And I'm guessing this. Alright. I'm going to break this down into 3 parts to talk about the AU stuff. And talk about Team Blue. And then about the questions. Well, more likely I'm going to explain this the best way I can in these circumstances. Okay. First off, what would the reaction of No Mercy team be about this AU of Dusttail? Well, it would vary, in all honesty. For Monica, it would be more of, and when I'm talking about No Mercy squad, I'm talking about the No Mercy team. Basically, I'm talking about William, Sans, Monica, and Ayana. That's the only four I'm talking about. Everyone else is just more close knit, but some might have a similar reaction. But yeah. So, in the terms of what their thoughts would be, William would be more of a interested in the scientific stuff that would be happening to this world, like how it's possible, how the memories, how their memories work, is going to be more intrigued about their actions and whatnot. Being less sympathetic because, in truth, he doesn't really care about any other world besides his own, in truth. But he has more of a soft spot towards Sans's, Ayano's, and Monica's AUs. And since they're broken off from the main canon, well, he really doesn't give a damn about any of the main canon stuff, in all honesty. Or any other alternate universes and whatnot. And a similar kind of thought process would be the same with Ayano, because it would be more intrigued to see how a situation like that would work, but she wouldn't be sympathetic towards what Frisk and Chara would have to go through. She would be more concerned for how Sans feels about seeing this AU firsthand. Other than that, no care would be really given other than that bit. And for Monica, she would be horrified about how the coding exploded, how everything went to HELL and so on, that she would have more of a stunned reaction about the coding. And if it came to the people inside this AU, she would feel more sympathetic that the monsters would actually have to go through this and have to remember all this stuff that happened in previous timelines. That would mainly be her thing. As for Sans, in truth, he would be like the most distraught from hearing this, and actually going to be very concerned over what happened to Papyrus mainly. And yeah, that would mainly be it. I think he would go through like a week or so, like feeling. I guess the best way to describe it would be he would be completely lost on what to do on this, whether I'm trying to try to help it fix this AU, or what. I don't know. At the on actions involving the AU, but he would be the most distraught, depressed, sad, and all that when it comes to this AU. Because this is an AU that he would never want to see. An AU that is so messed up that he's actually more terrified for everyone who has to go through all this than anything else. That would be my best summary on that. Now, as for the Izuku part, well, his thought process is going to be mainly like what everyone else is saying. Because people have a bit of a misunderstanding when I made some stuff and comments about how Sans and SS Chara reacted to certain AUs. Well, topics that talked about certain AUs and all this stuff. To answer that question, I would need to fully explain it. You see, none of the characters hate their AUs. That is going to be the one thing I'm going to state firmly on. None of the characters hate their AUs. None of them are gonna go like, I just hate your existence just because. For each AU, they're gonna be more understanding on why they chose the path they did. Say like basically their reaction is basically going to be similar to like how Shiro and Archer are like they can like Shiro understands the path Archer went on, but that doesn't mean he has to like the outcome of what Archer is like as a person. It's the same scenario here. Sans doesn't hate Dust Sans. He understands why. He understands the reasons Dust does what he does, but that doesn't mean he has to like what he did. He doesn't have to nod his head and go into agreement about why he did it. He understands it. He's just not going to support Dust or ever on anything he does. And the same here is for Izuku. For bad AUs, he's gonna understand some of them unless they turn out like born evil. But if they live a similar lifestyle to him, then yeah. As for Call of the Void and stuff like that, um, it's gonna be more of okay, kind of come like that stuff. Okay, got that. Anyway, back to the main point. Hmm. But then I complete some. Oh well. But yeah, for stuff like Hold the Void and all that, it's more tragic. Uh, how to explain it? Like, where there's gonna be a sad ending, where they're gonna have to sacrifice themselves, they're gonna be sad for those versions of themselves, and all this and all that. If you're expecting like a reaction where they wish they could save, like for Izuku thinking, oh, what does uh he wish he could save those AU versions of him, then no, that's not how this is gonna work. Because when it comes to Team Blue has been through stuff when it came to alternate versions of their worlds and all this and all that. And they understand after some time that trying to fix every single thing is literally impossible. Especially when they learned in the future that uh spoiler to other stuff because a lot of things gonna be happening in that kind of storyline, but mainly they met someone that understands time and they learned that everything they tried to do for one world wouldn't really do anything. Nothing would be changed, nothing would um go the way they're hoping for or anything like that. It's basically just going to end up being a cycle of them trying to fix one thing, but they're just going to make branching timelines from that one single mistake and can never fix that problem. And even then, they learn that there are some alternate paths that just had the scenario where there is a good ending without their involvement, and more or less understands that, yeah, they can't change these other AUs, but they're gonna help around their own worlds in general. And learn that, and they learn that more or less they just focus more on helping their own worlds, and that's really it. So basically, overall summary for these AUs specifically, uh, well, it's gonna be a bit sorrowful and wishing he could do something, but understands that he can't really help in the problem, no matter how much he wants to. And now for this final question, which is about Rimuru Tempest. Well, as you've seen from the shorts, he's technically a part of Team Blue, but yeah. How do I explain this? well, I have a future short that I want to make in the future, and yeah. How do I explain it? Um, yeah, okay. I think I have something in mind to explain this detail. Okay, Rimuru, yes, I know the anime and all that, but a lot of the stuff involving Team Blue is more related towards the manga stuff. Because as uh as I looked over the mangas uh and the anime versions, I noticed a lot of differences and all that. Like, for example, it seems like a lot of the characters seem to be stronger when it comes to the manga versions of themselves than the actual anime versions, which is kind of crazy when realizing this fact, but it's also kind of cool, but also misleading when you think about the anime version. Still, either way, you get the point. But yeah, um, basically, when I talk about allies for Team Blue, it's not the way one would think. It's more or less these people have more of an interaction with Team Blue from these worlds. And I have one more list of allies for Team Blue, but the best way to explain a bit of it is that and I'm surprised no one really commented on some of the stuff because some of them are just regular normal world or supernatural world like worlds. What the heck? Don't know what happened there. It was a bit weird. Anyway, um, basically to the main point. Uh, yeah, Rimuru is a part of Team Blue, and when it comes to his world, he's more interactive with them than anyone else in his world. And I'm using the term he because I do understand the situation when it comes to his appearance and all that, and his skills and abilities. So, yeah, I do know how that works for those that haven't seen it. And I have been meaning to see the anime, but with everything I do and with all the stuff I have to do, I just usually don't have the time to actually see it. Like, I have a whole list of animes that I want to watch, but I can't see them a lot or even start watching them because uh I just don't have the time to actually sit back and relax since I'm trying to make all these videos for everyone. I got other priorities to do in life and so on and so forth. So, yeah, it's an it's a thing I have to deal with. But yeah, If in the most basic version, Rimuru is a part of Team Blue, and he does talk to those of Team Blue. Everyone from the Allies talks to each other. Everyone from Allies talks to Team Blue in general. Is he part of the main team? Well, no. There's a story to that, and I'm trying to make it literally. That is because I'm actually considering making a new channel where I talk about where I make stories. So the story of Team Blue is going to be on that channel. I don't know when that channel is going to come up. I more or less want to get a part of the story down so that I can then focus on it. But this is the basics that I can say. But if you want to know Rimuru's role in Team Blue, um, he's gonna be glad to help, but no one really wants to abuse his help. So they mainly focus on basically Rimuru, and a lot of the OP characters are like the last resort if things go bad for a lot of the stuff Team Blue has to deal with. Like I said, there's a story. I'm not going into it because there's conflicting thoughts when it comes to it. Like there's some ideas I want to do, some ideas I don't, and I don't have it all written down or even in a story format. It would be just basically saying, "Oh, here's this one thing, but I'm not too sure if I want to do it and all that." That's basically it. When it comes to the main guideline of that. So yeah, Rimuru is a part of Team Blue. It's just he's more of the yeah, we gotta call this guy in for the last resort kind of situation. That's it, really. If you hope for like a like bigger role that he would play, I gotta say no to that because yeah. But yeah, that's going to be it, really, when it comes to that. Hmm. Okay. Let's see. Next question. And if anyone's still confused by the rumor thing, basic summary: he's part of Team Blue, but not the like uh not part of the seven. Okay, so here's a question by Elite Rose 234, where they ask four questions. Um. Okay. What does your William think of Graveyard Shift at Freddy's? What does your Sans think of X-Tail Gaster? What does your Missing Children think of the Silver Eyes trilogy, FNAF 1 animatronics, and the version of William Dead by Get, and they get to move on. Okay, so basically for that one, I'm thinking they meant to say, what do they think the Missing Children think of the Silver Eyes trilogy, about the animatronics, about William being dead, and them moving on, and so on. Um, as for the fourth one, it is if Monica met Underplayer, what does she think of them? So I'm gonna do this in reverse order because Graveyard Shift is, I can't remember on the top of my head. So I need a moment for that. But yeah. So let's go from reverse order. If Monica met Underplayer, what does she think of them? Intrigue, wonder, interest. Like pick a word from there, and that's literally is going to be Monica's reaction towards them, and her thoughts of them. She's going to be intrigued by how Underplayer can actually uh do what they can do, how they are a part of the world, and so on and so forth. Find them interesting and very kind hearted for their goals and all that. Honestly, it's all going to be more or less positive thoughts and such when it comes to Underplayer for Monica. Now, if we're talking about the missing children and their thoughts on the Silver Eyes, well, they never did know about the Silver Eye trilogy or anything going to complete detail about it. But I can give you their basic, what their reactions would be, if that will do. So, for the Silver Eye trilogy, mm, the biggest reactions would be Cassidy and Charlie, because Gabriel, Susie, Jeremy, and Fritz would be a little shocked, a little stunned by what's going on in this in the Silver Eyes trilogy. About the animatronics that are involved, the backstory, the lore, and so on and so forth. Charlie would actually be really concerned for her father's thought process, especially when we come to the fourth closet, because of the fact that um, this alternate version of him literally made a series of dolls and animatronics that are supposed to play a part of Charlie's life to the point where it will go from one age to another and so on. That would probably be the main reaction she would have, and would be very concerned about her father's thought process and the fate of Henry Emily at the end of it all. So yeah, that's gonna be the main thing her reaction would be. Yeah, that would be it. Now, like, there's not gonna be really any intriguing thing to really say about that. But yeah, that would be the main thing. As for Cassie, well, she's gonna get more sadistic joy to William's pain and suffering and all that. Though there are gonna be a bit horrified about how his body turned out. Though it's not going to be more of regret, it's going to be more of surprise that he's up and about, he escaped the animatronic suit, and so on and so forth. That's going to be the reaction there. Nothing else really. Now, for X-Tail Gaster and Sans thought on him, well, that's an interesting one. Basically, he's not gonna view X-Tail Gaster in a positive light. If that's what you're asking. But he's not gonna go all buddy-buddy with him. The best way to explain it is... So, let me put it in the basic way on reaction if they see one another and X-Tail Gaster appears in my Sans' AU. Sans is going to realize what he plans to do with his world and all that, and is going to actually try to fight X-Gaster with no holding back. Because he doesn't want X-Gaster to do anything to his world. And that probably would be the best explanation I could give. Basically, understandable about... He's gonna understand why X-Tail Gaster is gonna do what he's gonna do, but he's not gonna let it happen in his AU or anything like that. If he ever did try to do anything to his AU. Basically, he has no trust for X-Tail Gaster. And is going to act up if he tries something. Now, for William's thoughts on Graveyard Shift, well, the best thing I could say is intriguement. He's going to be intrigued by the actions and the way everything is going there. But other than that, nothing really else. And if you're expecting like a more positive reaction, like he's gonna be like a good guy or something, it's not gonna be that. The William from my AU isn't all a nice guy or anything like that. He just doesn't care for anyone that's not close to him. And that's really the best summary I can actually give towards my AU version of William Afton. Now, and here's another one. Elite Row from Elite Rose 234. In the nearby future, will you ever do a reaction of FNAF fan games and maybe have the FNAF characters react to it? And second, Oh, second question. How would your William Afton reaction be if you saw an alternate version of him got captured by the SCP Foundation and found a way to disable that version of and found a way to disable that version of him. Okay. That's okay. Maybe I will do reactions involving that subject. I don't know, it's a iffy for me. I wouldn't mind doing it, but there's so many fan games and no one really suggested them, so yeah. So if they suggest it, sure, I wouldn't mind doing it. I just need a fan game, see if it's appropriate, because let's be honest, editing that kind of stuff, if it's a really violent one, is going to be a pain because of all the stuff we have that I have to do to make sure that it's good for YouTube. Yeah. Because I know that there are FNAF games that are just so scary and horrifying when it comes to the horror and gore that they actually been taken off the internet and all that. Now, for the William Afton part, again, he's gonna be intrigued about it, but also a bit annoyed and cautious. Because if the SCP Foundation actually exists in his world, he's gonna keep an eye out and make sure that he does not get found by them or anything like that. Now, other than that, there's this question about, well, a question from L Imposter 2005. And the question is, did you ever play A Hat in Time or seen any gameplay videos for it? If so, would you make gacha content with the characters? Well, for the gacha part, probably not. I'm not too diverse into the game. And I have seen bits and pieces of the game, but did I see the game from the beginning to end? No. And I more watched it than anything else. For me to do gacha content, it has to be a well known understanding of the characters. And stuff that I would actually have to know about it. Even then, I'm not too interested of doing another group at the moment. Maybe in the nearby future, if things go all right, I guess I might consider it if I'm mentally prepared enough to do so. But other than that, not too much else to really say about it. Now for what? I I don't understand this one. Anyway, this question is from Ig or Igor 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 Witska. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it up. I just don't know how to properly pronounce it. It's basic. It's IGORWITCZAK 3692. And the question is, how do you feel with shaping me as a person and almost single-handedly teaching me English during quarantine? Uh, and in truth, I didn't realize if I did that, and when it came to COVID-19 and during quarantine, but if that actually did happen, because I don't recall personally doing that, but if it meant like, but if it's the clear words of you making videos and how you've been posting them and all that has been teaching me how to do English, then uh, I'm a bit flattered that you say that. Honestly, never expected it, so yeah, I'm a bit stunned here. But if I actually helped you out, then okay. I'm really happy that things turned out well for you when it came to that. Just a bit surprised that I did such a thing. So yeah. So thank you. I'm a bit stunned by it that it I did something like that. But I'm glad to help out. That's all I can really say about it. Okay. Now, yeah, after looking through everything real quick, I'm noticing that there's no other questions to really ask. So, yeah, surprised about that. Hmm. But yeah, that's basically it when it comes down to it. So, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this Q&A. I might be doing this as a regular yearly thing, and for why it took so long just to even make this video, well, around the time I was going to make it, got sick, really couldn't do a whole lot of talking or even recording or anything like that because of that. It took a while just to even get better, but by the time I got better, I had, or even a bit better, uh, I was way behind on a lot of stuff that I was hoping would actually last out while I try to make this video. And even then, I couldn't do long terms of talk, long, long sentences, talk a lot, and so on. So it led to, yeah, this video being delayed to this point. But now I finally got the chance to do it. I'm a little caught up. Still got some stuff to do. And a lot of other things. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you did enjoy this Q&A. And other than that, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.